What's up, everybody? I'm Lewis, and this is Metal Lens Reviews. How y'all doing? So, if this happens to be your first time here, you checking it out, like what you see, thank you. Please do me that favor of a like, comment, subscribe. As I mentioned before, it really helps me grow the channel, spread it to the masses, and of course motivates me to provide you guys with more content to watch. Alright, so what are we doing here? This was a major suggestion from a lot of people when I did this solo project of this band right now, where the gentleman leading this band, Tommy Johansson, is a Swedish virtuoso singer, guitarist, super talented. I mean, the guy's got a set of pipes on him. He could sing, to his heart content, and the heavens could hear him. Really impressive, and I wish I heard of him a lot sooner. I would have been reacting to him a lot sooner, but just like life, you come into things late sometimes, and it's like, where you been my whole life? And this is one of those instances. So, this is his actual band, which I was unaware of until I read the comments. So yeah, this is going to be entertaining, and I'm expecting a lot from this. When it comes to Swedes and metal music, they never disappoint. So yeah, and this is obviously a band I've never heard of. I've heard of the singer recently, but yeah, I have no idea what to expect, but then again, I have an idea. Alright, let me stop yapping. I'm going to cue this video up, and we're going to check it out together. You guys ready? I am. Alright, once again, this is MAJESTICA with A Story in the Night. Let's check it out. That was incredibly hard to pause. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of play it through, but I was like, oh, I gotta share my opinions on this. And we're just a minute in. It's a 5-minute song, so I'm gonna be talking about it a lot. Yeah, so anyway, mind blown, speechless. I'm coming up with this type of dialogue as I go. Honest opinion there. Yeah, this is wild, man. But you know what? Like I said, when you come across these kind of bands, and by that I mean like this kind of power metal, really kind of fast in your face, kind of harken backs to that 80s vibe, just, introducing that Swedish, Nordic aggression there, and I mean, obviously, Tommy, the whole band itself, whoever can play like this, like, I'm more of kind of like a power chord riff kind of dude when it comes to playing guitar. I always envy those guys that are just like all over the fretboard. My brain just doesn't, work like that. It's not wired, but, I try. Anyway, yeah, all of them are incredible musicians, and I will be looking into them, I promise, but Tommy, god damn, man, those voices, they cut through. His voice might as well be an instrument, it cuts through everything. It's just, yeah, super impressive. And, yeah, you only come across certain musicians in your lifetime and you're like, damn, I've been missing out. Yeah, so far so good, and we're just at the start, so it's pretty epic. Damn. Okay. I don't even know where to stop with this. This is just all over the place in a good way. So, like I said, everybody's just talented. Like, what was the auditioning like? Like, okay, can you play God level on your instrument? Yes, you're hired. Like, I mean, obviously, it's almost kind of like when you pick a super group. You know, it's going to be awesome most of the time. Yeah. So I'm assuming Majestica came first, and then Tommy kind of broke, well, they didn't break off, but did his solo stuff. You know, I'm going to assume that's the order of things. I mean, when you're like this, when you're talented like this, you know, and we have a collaborating effort of bands that are, you know, or a group of friends that you jam with are understandable. You know, want to sometimes, you know, do something different. You know, maybe a different type of music you want to maybe pursue, a different project, or just, I don't know, express something that you wouldn't normally jam with your band with, you know. And, you know, that's cool when I like that. I like seeing the creativeness of, you know, either member of the band when they do, you know, like a side project. And not separate entirely, but, like, you know, do another creative project and say, hey, I could also do this. You know, I could showcase this. You know, something you wouldn't normally hear, you know, with a main group, you know. So I always appreciated that. You know, some people say it spells doom when members of a band do a side project. I think it's just, you know, because you can get exhausted playing the same music or rehearsing the same people over and over again. Sometimes it's good to just separate, breathe a little bit, and then come back. You know, and at the time, if you're creative somewhere else, pursue it. Creativeness should not be hindered. You know, even if you're with a solid group, you know, do something else, and then maybe if it doesn't fit, come back to it later and see what happens. But yeah, everyone's on their A game here. Tommy's doing his thing. The vocals phenomenal. That solo, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that. But wow, everyone's just doing a really damn good job. Phenomenal. I love it. I mean, the opening of this song was freaking majestic. Okay, the name, right? Yeah. I'm getting like these fever dreams of like fantasy elements, of riding a horse, through a freaking military campaign in the middle of like Lord of the Rings or something. I don't know, like the real fantasy epic, just in your face, take it, crazy stuff. I love it all, and like I said, I wish I heard of them sooner, but hey, better time than now, and hey, I like I said, I wish I could go back in time and relive these experiences, but then again, it wouldn't be a real deal experience here, or me, commenting on this and giving my opinion, because this is this is not just right up my alley, but like I said, for a band I've never heard of, on a very familiar label, by the way. Wow. Awesome. I love it. I'm going to go back a little bit and listen to that solo, because I was, mind blown. I have to comprehend that again. And then we're going to finish it out, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts, alright? Real quick, this guy must be a freaking blasting live, like in concert. I mean, obviously, I'm sure they toured. I don't know if he tours with his solo stuff, but as a band, Majestica, I imagine, obviously, they probably tour all over, Sweden and Denmark, probably the local spots, and then I guess throughout Europe. Because power metal, I imagine, is a very kind of a European thing. I mean, obviously it's world known, so obviously the States are going to have some recognition with it. But, again, and me, myself, I was leaning more towards the heavier stuff, Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, bands like that. But I always appreciated the stuff, the skillmanship. It's like, being a marksman in the military. You're always on point, like you're a sniper, and then all these men are snipers here. Really landing the mark here and just spot on, chef kiss. It's like an experience, It's not just listening to music. Because everyone's doing it. Like I said, the dude's voice could also be an additional instrument. You know, it's just his range is incredible. And I've seen a lot of people. I've reacted to a lot of different genres of music and artists, and you know, everyone's talented in their own way. But yeah, this is definitely right on the money, and a genre I'm well aware of. Better late than never, right? Yeah, awesome. All right, let's keep going. Got a little bit left. Let me finish it out, like I said, and let you guys know what I think. Bravo, man, bravo. God, I hope the audio in this video isn't messed up, because I've been having some trouble lately. That's another story. Anyway, yes, oh my god, Majestica, Story in the Night. It's a goddamn, you know, side story in Lord of the Rings, you know, or Game of Thrones. It has this fantasy-esque metal, you know, which most power metal, if I'm being honest, it's what it feels like, you know, a fucking thrill ride. You know, it's a medieval setting, fighting dragons or whatever. That's what I get anyway. But anyway, yeah, the entire band's skilled. Tommy, obviously, no question. I listen to his solo stuff, and I will be doing a lot more of Majestica and Tommy, for sure. And whoever else is, you know, listening to this, any fans of, you know, Tommy, just himself and his band, yeah, keep flooding my comments with, you know, recommendations by him. I'm all about it. Yeah, wow, this was an awesome song. Solid, talented group of individuals. I'm not exaggerating. You know, being a musician myself, yeah, I wouldn't even attempt to, you know, go riff for riff with these guys. No way. Yeah, gotta give credit where credit's due. And Majestica, awesome. Like I said, I wish I heard them sooner. But yep, awesome band, and I definitely recommend it. And, you know, anyone else who's, you know, who knows me, or, you know, listens to my channel, and, you know, I guess, you know, interested in the other music I listen to, add Majestica to the list, because, yeah, definitely be seeing more of me reacting to them soon enough. Well, there you have it, guys. Once again, Majestica with A Story in the Night, epic power metal vibe, just Tommy with his vocals, and the band just so tight and in your face. Perfect. Hey, look, if you made this far in the video, thank you. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. As I mentioned before, if you want to support the channel in any way, or if you want to throw me a recommendation, you want me to review something, or like this, react to, and you don't feel like, you know, because, you know, I get comments all the day on the stuff I should react to or listen to or review. And there's a lot of them. I have to go through them one by one. If you want to jump ahead of the line, I'll leave a link down below. Buy me a coffee. You can reach me through that way faster than, you know, shouting out comments. Other than that, my friends, thank you for listening, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Peace.